You're the chanting one. Welcome to another edition of your favorite podcasting cousin duo, the Polymuse Experience Lifestyle brand, brought to you from Polymuse Studios in a hidden location. Guys, we've brought you a long way. We've taken you through every System of a Down song so far. We've
sure
still got
have.
a whole album left, but we've got the Lost in Hollywood number 2 of the. There's 2 Hollywoods back to back.
One's old, one's lost.
You've got 2 cousins back to back. One's old,
One's lost.
Not lost.
I'm the older one. Are you the
Well,
lost one?
So, I guess that's what you're saying about me, but
I guess so.
we found each other. We found the podcasting studio again. It's elusive, but we made it. We're back in the saddle, folks. We're back where we belong. Reviewing new metal albums from 20 years ago. For your listening pleasure. Dude, they gotta make more. I know music lasts forever, but it's just... This is a cool song. I couldn't remember it
Oh, that's not good.
off the top of my head.
You crushed the review of the last song you couldn't remember.
I know which one is Old School Hollywood Baseball. That was
Yes.
imbued in my, like, tattooed on my mind. But the other, the B side of that, the inferior, the Beta Hollywood song, obviously it's 2 heads of the coin, but this one's not quite as hilarious as Old School Hollywood Baseball. Or is it? Are you telling me there's do you know the references of here in this one?
It's
This
just-
is Michael, folks. Hit it.
Yeah. Well, we've kind of just thrown out random references here and there. I don't have any specific sticking points. It's really just kind of
Jack
echoing the
Gilardi's 10
sentiment of
feet
being
tall.
lost in Hollywood.
Oh, wait, that's not this one. Say the other one, I love
Yeah.
that other Hollywood.
Yeah, well, this is certainly a much different System of a Down track. I think it's interesting to end with this track and this particular album with this track. And it's also, I think, kind of the sentiment that I get from it of, they always walk us through being distorted by media and, the social constructs that are put around us.
Yeah.
And certainly Hollywood is one of those constructs. And I think it's just interesting to not end this with a very aggressive track, but just kind of like wandering off in the distance. That's kind of what I think of as someone who may be unfortunately suffering from hallucinations or drugs, specifically on the third verse, feeling 10 feet tall, maybe referring to hallucinogen or something like that. But I certainly just think that's a weird way to end the album.
Are you saying this cocaine makes you feel like you're on this song?
Maybe. Yeah. But I also think it's kind of ironic in the System of a Down way to just kind of be like you're kind of wandering off in this gentler track, and that's kind of how you end
like
this
the
whole
credits.
album. Yeah, you're
It's
just
like-
at the end.
I mean, Old School Hollywood's the climax, and then this is like the credits. It's like the samurai wandering off into
Yeah.
the sunset.
And you're still kind of disillusioned and inebriated and not sure what's real and what's not.
And that's where they leave you
But yeah,
forever. Nope, because they made another record the very same year.
But-
Same year, folks.
yeah,
I mean, we want to wrap up this one nice and tight with a bow, but it's really it's part 1 of an experience.
yes.
Do you remember liking this song at the time?
I like anything I can kind of sing or hum to. And although this isn't, I feel like a lot of System of a Down fans would hate this song because this is not System of a Down. You wouldn't throw this in your normal System of a Down playlist, I don't think. What couple of tracks are you coupling this up with? I don't even know.
The rest of the Rick Rubin power ballad library.
I suppose so. There's a few of
Didn't
them.
they have one on here that I didn't I don't know. Something.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
There's way too much Darren, dude. He's good. He's not. They both have a good, unique voice, but for him, he just starts it off strong. It is cool how they interweave. The harmony's really good.
Yes.
How Serge has like the chanting and Darren has the kind of call out like MC, talking, singing kind of thing that he's doing where he's calling people out. That's actually kind of rad. I just don't like hearing him right off the rip like he's the main guy because he thinks he is, but they both are the main. They're all 4 of them should be the main guy. They should all sing together.
I agree. I still like that lyrically it's still kind of in canon for them and kind of subjects they may kind of touch on. as we've just stated, even though instrumentally it's very different. And vocally it is more singing than screaming or kind of yelling, I guess I would say, right? So
Yeah, a lot of ahs.
yes, a lot of ahs. Ah. I like it.
It's a good lyric.
Yeah.
It means so much.
I like the song. I gave it an S. I'd put it on my perfect System of a Down album.
You gave it a S.
I did.
You did?
I did.
Okay. I gave it a C.
That's not surprising.
It's just normal. It's not like amazing.
I like that we have both vocalists.
Yeah.
I like that we still have subject matter that's System of a Down. And I still like that I like the instrumental is different. And I don't like that the drummer's kind of not as present. But I still like that we have a bit of the ups and downs between the chorus and the bridge and the verses. And I just like that it's a little different, but it's not too far from the branding and messaging of System of a Down. So I actually like it. I'd probably put it right at the end of my all-time mixtape. So here we go.
Yeah.
Let's get lost in Hollywood.
So that's an S tier song as picked by the Polymuse DJ himself.
I think so. It's not going to be very popular, I don't feel, with the fans. But for me, it is on my S tier.
It doesn't seem, it's just not memorable. Something about it. I mean, this is the thing. This is the two sides of the System of a Down, honestly. We got the two Hollywoods. And what did you give the old school Hollywood baseball? You did not give it an A. I should switch it up and give it an S, but I ran out of S's. That was also not, I have another one coming up that is the actual runner-up S.
Yeah.
Sneak S. But it's not, I should have though, just to counter your vote.
You got a sneak S coming up. I gave old Hollywood a B-. Like it's still hanging out.
So a C.
Well, yeah, just like I'd search for it once in a while. A C is like, if it's on, I'm not skipping it. A B- is like hanging on just above that. I'd search it out once in a while. But I want to hear about Tony Danza at a baseball game.
He cut in line.
Well, again, that's a strange one too, right? Because
It's
System of a Down isn't bringing in as many other like personal stories to that minutia. That's small of a level.
They did
that kind of minutia.
That stupid Chicken Stew song where it's like about a specific basketball game.
Yes, that was the other one I was going to point out.
Yeah.
There's you can count on one hand the number of times they've done that.
That's why I was surprised that the other Hollywood didn't have. It's like, it's not about his dad at a certain basketball game at a specific time and place, and then they made an announcement, and he literally witnessed Tony Danza.
But again, both albums here, and we'll hit on, of course, Mezmerize and Hypnotize in just the next episodes here. But both albums, again, received very well. We remember them quite well because we were waiting for more System of a Down music at that time.
I remember the in-between phase where Mezmerize had come out.
Yeah.
We had downloaded most of the songs because we were still paying track by track, song at a time. It wasn't, pirating or anything like that. It's like we were buying a song at a time. And so we had digested that material. But I remember just being like, how are they going to have... I remember feeling like satisfied. A satisfying follow-up already to Toxicity, basically. Steal This album, we knew it was kind of... A lot of it was, B-sides, junk, not necessarily. But when Mezmerize, they did it. Like, they did it again. This is as good as the other two albums. And there's a whole, like, couldn't believe where they would go next or I was like, there's no way they're going to knock it out of the park again.
Yeah, you weren't sure what was coming. Because this is, it's listed at 11 tracks, but you have the Soldier Side intro, so it's really 10 tracks of music, but it's a nice project there.
That's all you need, 10 songs. Every Weezer album is straight up and down, 10 songs. Yep. You cannot remember more songs than that anyway.
You sure can't.
I like it when they all have their own identity. But that's what it is about this. Like, let's talk about it, though. Like, we can go run through them, final track, back through Mezmerize, because that's the thing about them. Each one, it has its own identity, it's a concept. They write to the concept, to the title, and that's why they all feel like singles. Yes. And that's why it felt like like BYOB, Bring Your Own Bombs, a lot of different ways to interpret it.
Yep.
Got the multiple different sections. Like, that one in your mind, straight off the rip. You know exactly which one that is.
That banging music video, The Militant, which is used in a lot of their music videos. but S tier for both of us.
Yeah, but even that, you still have that burned into your mind. The pop section, the metal section,
The party section,
the
and the
FU
music
section at the end, the stuff where they got kicked off of Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
Revenja, I mean, you know which one Revenja is.
Yep.
Cigarro, unforgettable lyrics.
Yep.
Completely. It's just, you go right down the list. Radio, Video, Cocaine, the Violent song, the Question song, the Statue song, some Hollywood songs. It's like these big core concepts where they write to it. It's Beatlesque. It's where the Beatles, they'll have an idea, they'll write the full scope of the concept, they move on. But it's just they have this little jewel of a record. Like Your Mother Should Know. Let's all get up and dance to a song. That was a hit before your mother was born. It's just hilarious. It's a meme unto itself. They nailed, dude, I think all 10 of these songs, even the ones I don't like, they have that quality to them. And there was definitely on the second half of those first 2 System albums, and definitely on Steal This Album. That's the problem with some of those songs. It's like, which one is which? What's the concept? What's he talking about? I mean, Prison Song, but which one is Darts?
Yeah, that's
which
true.
one is Roulette?
And that is the problem with bloated track lists and some of the what happens now when they release the album and then the deluxe version after that with even more tracks. That's a problem as well, keeping track of the tracks.
And I want as many songs as possible,
Right.
but it's just there is also something to be said where you have 10 polished jewels where these are the 10 perfect ideas, and that's what made it so satisfying.
I see that the 2018 vinyl release was actually 16th on the Billboard top. I think that goes to 100. I'm not sure.
Nice.
So even the re-release many years later,
that's cool,
did quite well.
And that was probably right at a time when vinyl was maybe at its lowest, and then they went back around because it went to a point where nobody cared about vinyl, and then everybody cared again, and they started putting all the mainstream releases out on vinyl again. So I'm betting that that's one of those ones in the valley there where they didn't immediately come out on vinyl. I could be wrong. They might have done it up top as well, but I bet you there's a lot of albums that kind of bounced up when people went back and got them on vinyl from people who would have maybe collected them or whatever. And I wish I had infinite money. I would have infinite vinyl, but I'd also have infinite Nintendo games and Superman comics. And
this is true.
I'd have to pick one. That's the thing. I gotta liquidate some of this stuff. I don't even have that much stuff, but it's like I gotta sell some of the stuff I can't have everything. If I want System of a Down on vinyl, I gotta sell all my Nintendo games or something, which I'm not gonna do that.
Can't do that. Nope. Have to stream it for now.
It would be cool though. It would be. I mean, there's only 5 of them. You could get 5 slabs of vinyl, $50 each probably. Get them 1 per month.
Yeah.
And then you're like, there you go. I have the perfect System of a Down collection forever now, as long as
could be our back wall.
Or listen to them. But if you're not, be careful with them. You gotta don't scratch them. Don't stack anything on them. You gotta keep them up tight on a shelf. Don't smoke in the house. None of this affects MP3s. It's not that big of a deal. It's really not that big of a deal. It's just once you start moving, and then they get stuck in a box somewhere, and you forget about them in the back of a closet. It's just, you got to have one collection. Pick one thing, Michael. You can't collect action figures and records and all this crap at the same time.
Oh, that's a real disappointment.
I'm not even I'm talking to me. You're just taking it out on you.
Well, that is...
Did you ever get lost in Hollywood?
I imagine... I've been there.
Did you get lost?
I did not.
Did you ever
I did get lost trying to get to the Hollywood sign, though.
Well,
there's some
How
routes.
Is that not a yes? What do you mean?
I guess yes.
All right, hit it.
It was
How
tricky
does it
to
go?
get up there.
How does this story go?
Oh, I was
missing
just
chapter.
hiking up some mountains. Like which route? How do you get to the Hollywood sign? Which route do you take?
Was there like wild hobos and stuff all over?
There's some active routes out there, so you can run into a lot of different people.
The nightlife, wildlife out on the trails,
ideally afternoon life if you're doing some hiking, not in the evenings.
Being careful, doing some camping.
Yeah,
I heard you can do some. Yeah. Anyway,
just trying to figure out which winding route on those mountains actually goes up behind the Hollywood sign. Did not take the right route, as it turns out. Saw it, got some pictures. Did not. But I don't know what I walk up and.
Are you sure it was the right sign?
That's a good point, Ben. I don't know.
I mean, how they could recreate that
They could.
in a lab. They
could.
created a moon landing in a studio.
Mm-hmm.
They can make more than one Hollywood baseball.
They could do a lot of things, I suppose.
So have you ever been stuck in the sky?
No.
Don't you ever get stuck in the sky.
Way up high.
This is a goofy song.
Oh, I guess they did release a Japanese version. One of the Japanese versions of the album did have a slightly different Lost in Hollywood, just a little bit different
Oh, really?
arrangement as well.
Do they sing in Japanese? They're Lost in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Old school Singapore baseball.
That could be. That's the alt version. But yeah,
What's actually different about it? Do we know?
slightly different back vocals.
Different chanting.
Mm-hmm.
They needed that. They're
Yep.
like, it's not perfect for
It's not quite
the
perfect yet.
exquisite tastes. Sometimes you do a bonus track for the Japanese audience. They did bonus chanting.
Bonus chant to get that in there. But yeah, went number 1
Holy
in
cow, really?
at least 12 countries.
Whoa, that's wonderful.
Yep, and it is platinum.
Dude, the boys knew how to quit when they were ahead.
They sure did.
They got to make more records, though. How does Hypnotize? Also platinum, I'm assuming. Maybe we'll get to that. When we hit you
Yes.
with the Hypnotize, about to hypnotize you. Was that mesmerizing? Yeah,
Yes.
that was some mesmerizing stuff. My head was blown off my
Shoulders.
body. It's like a coin swinging, mesmerizing me. Any other mesmerize
No.
memories? The double M?
I just remember getting both of these from the library, as I stated, and listening to them for the first time and being very excited that there was additional music after Toxicity, and just thinking that it was similar in tone, but also a little different, especially with the both songs, Lost in Hollywood in its softer tone, similar lyrical content, and then Old Hollywood certainly in like the kind of like more personal aspect from that particular song. So I do have more vivid memories of these two albums and tagging on to the additional discography System of a Down, and the hiatus came not too long after that. So.
Yeah, pretty quick after that.
Yep.
And we never got over it. That's why we're making a 30-hour podcast about it.
Pretty much.
See you next time. We love you.
Love.